Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, class. We can meet again with this presentation talking about the discourse analysis. I love this actually. Okay, so this is the second traditions we had. Before that, we had the interaction analysis. Okay, so before going to our business, we have to recite Umul Kitab together. Okay, let's pray then. Okay, thank you for playing this video. So I do hope that all of you, yeah, without any exception, because it is online and it can be reached, okay, in anywhere, everywhere, okay. And then now we have totally the real 17 slides, okay, for today. So talking about the discourse, okay, so the synonymous, okay, meaning or maybe the meaning Indonesian, you may try to look for coming from the dictionary because of what this is the deeper, okay, material talking about the qualitative research or qualitative study. So I would like to go to the first item. The aims of the discourse analysis is, of course, for examining language in interaction and its social function. Here, I would like to go to the steps of the theoretical point of view. Later, I would like to show the one of the updated research, yeah, talking about the discourse analysis. Now we have this one, aspects of interaction. So actually there are 3 points here. The first is participant organization. The second of all, the nonverbal or paralinguistic, okay, communication. And then the third is the material itself. Later, we would like to go to the items, okay, what is meant by participant organization, nonverbal, and material included in the discourse itself. After knowing about the previous one, aspects of interaction, now we move to the three, okay, talking about non-linguistics organization, discourse itself, and also grammar. Here, I divided into the smaller points that the first item is the non-linguistics organization, deals with course, period, and also the topic. Meanwhile, for the discourse, it deals with lesson, transaction. Here, the transaction is not the economical transaction, okay, the classroom language transaction and etc. And then the next is exchange, move, and also act. Talking about the grammar here, it covers sentence, clause, group, verb, and also morpheme. After knowing about the non-linguistic organization, discourse, and grammar, we move on to the levels, ranks, and also the systems of analysis. Here we deal with the discourse analysis. There are 4 ranks here in the system. The first rank is the lesson, and then the second rank is the transaction. The third is exchange, and then the last one is move. The first and the second rank cannot be classified into the smaller items, but here we go for the third and then the fourth. Okay, we have boundary and teaching belong to exchange, and then for the move, okay, we have opening, follow up, framing, focusing, and answering. That's about the levels, ranks, and the system of analysis. Here we go about the analytical units employed in discourse analysis. It is categorized into 2 units. Okay, the first is the structural units and the functional units for the second one. Talking about the structural units, we have to go to this slide talking about the utterance, turn, T-unit, communication unit, and the last is fragment. I have tried to put the meaning or maybe about the aims for its structural units as utterance is a string of speech by one speaker under a single intonation control and preceded also followed by another speaker's speech or pause. And the turn is any speaker's sequence of utterances bounded by another speaker's speech. And then T-unit is an syntactic main clause and its associated subordinate clause. How about the communication unit? It deals with an independent grammatical predication, the same as the unit except that in oral linguistics, elliptical answers to questions also constitute complete predication. And then the last thing that is about fragment. Okay. So it is any utterance which does not constitute a completed proposition. I hope that you want to search about the examples of these structural units. Now we go to the second one about functional. Here there are repetition, expansion, clarification requests, comprehension check, confirmation check, repair, and model. How about the repetition? Repetition is an exact repeating of a previous string of speech. The expansion is a partial or full repetition which modifies some portion of a previous string of speech by adding syntactic or semantic information. Clarification request is a request for further information from an interlocutor about a previous utterance. The comprehension check, it is about the speaker's query of the interlocutor as to whether or not they have understood the previous speaker's utterance. The confirmation check deals with the speaker's query as to whether or not the speaker's understanding of the interlocutor's meaning is correct. Then, about repair, it is an attempt by a speaker to alter or rectify a previous utterance which was in some way lacking in clarity or correctness. And then the last one is modal. It is a type of prompt by a speaker intended to elicit an exact imitation or to serve as an exemplary response to elicitation. We finished about 2 units, the structural and the functional. Now we move on to the real one, that is about the article, talking discourse analysis of directed speech text used by teachers in classroom interactions by Aini, Hidayat, and Husna in 2023. Here, you have to know that how to minimize the misunderstanding about the gap coming from the theoretical point of view and also the practicality. Therefore, you have to bridge your knowledge by reading, more articles related to traditions in the qualitative research. Here, I would like to show you about this point, of the article that is about the abstract, and I would like to go to the keywords. You married by yourself. Previously, you have tried to connect with the web, of the Journal of English Teaching here, and then find the volume and number, and then go to the page. You will find this online article. Now, because it deals with the discourse analysis, we have the keywords here: directive speech act, discourse analysis, and classroom interaction. But later, if you type the keywords, especially for me as the advisor of your writing publication, you have to make in a sequence. It should be classroom interaction first, and then followed by the directive speech act, and then the last would be the discourse analysis. This is our point, about the method that the design of the research, of course, the descriptive discourse analysis. How about the participants that this article, conducted in the 3rd grade of SDIT Vidya Cendekia? Here, I don't think that you have to put the real name of the schools, okay, later if you're doing research. After design and also participant, we go to the instrument. What is the instrument? You may check this one. And then we have, okay, the video recording and observation notes. Therefore, the authors, okay, try to use two instruments here. And then the technique is only by listening the teacher speaks act in the learning interaction. And then talking about the note, they used note taking, which is done to take note of the teacher's utterances in the class in the form of a sheet or rubric. Okay. Now, talking about the procedure here, they use Miles and Huberman 1994. That would be alright as long as you cannot find the appropriate, okay, citation or maybe reference dealing with the procedure updated coming from this. So if this is the only one theory or the only one procedure to analyze, okay, you may use, although it's very old. This is the types, okay, yeah. This is, I got it coming from the discussion, okay, and also fundings, okay, in the article. You may go to the table 2 here. So if you are interested in discourse analysis, you have to analyze into this kind of a table. Okay, and then about the suggestion, okay, yeah? And then the directive speech act in invitation, and then the directive speech acts also for the prohibition part. I think this is the summary that in the article or the research, the authors found there were 5 directive speech acts coming from the command as the highest frequency, and then followed by request, suggestion, invitation, and prohibition. Okay, thank you. That's all from me for the video of discourse analysis. Thank you so much for watching and playing the video. Okay, see you in the next meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.